What up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Rolling the Bottom Podcast. Hope you are doing well whenever you are listening to this one. Looking forward to getting this one, guys. Gonna talk about the Cup Series race, the Xfinty Series race, and my experience at the Speedway Classic, the MLB Speedway Classic in Bristol. The Cup race, William Byron gets it done, stretches his tank of gas, runs 144 laps without stopping to get the W. We had run-ins. We saw Kyle Larson versus Chase Elliott. We saw Carson and Zane Smith. So much more. Brad Keselowski's close call on getting that W and locking himself into the playoffs. From Sam Mayer getting the W in Xfinty, finally getting back to victory lane. Going back-to-back to Iowa, getting Hots Factory's first win of their new team, and also Ford's first win in the Xfinity Series this season. So like I just said, my full experience at the Speedway Classic, experiencing baseball inside Bristol Motor Speedway. Hope you all enjoy. Let's get into it. So, we're going to start off with the Speedway Classic video. So guys, let's talk about it. We're going to start off with my experience at the Speedway Classic. I was at Bristol Motor Speedway. Really looking forward to this trip. It was my dad, my brother-in-law, and my neighbor. Drove down there 7 hours from Pennsylvania. Got down there Friday afternoon. Really enjoyed the Friday time. We stayed at this local campsite stayed in a little cabin. Went to Michael Waltrip's Brewery for the first time. I hate beer. I don't like beer. Not a fan of the taste. But I gotta say, Michael Waltrip Brewery burgers, fries, really good stuff. Really enjoy that little area. Seems like they have a lot of people that enjoy going there as well. Really good food. I gotta say, we went, did our normal shopping, got our food, hanged out in the campsite, campfire, threw football. It was a good time. Saturday comes around, man. I was excited, dude. Really, really excited being there in Bristol. I just love going to racetracks. My dad and me have been to Bristol multiple times, but my neighbor, my brother-in-law, have never even been to a racetrack. Or, I'm not saying they never been to a racetrack, but they've never been to a NASCAR race. So they're going to a NASCAR track without seeing a NASCAR race. But they're both big baseball fans, wanting to experience it. It's just really cool being in Bristol in general, the way they built this entire field. The whole, I saw the time lapse of this, man. The whole, just everything that SMI and MLB had to do to put this thing together is really impressive. Really cool to see the field. They had to knock down the Goodyear building. They're going to rebuild that. They had to knock down parts of the inside of pit wall. So they're going to have a lot of work to do. I bet you they're working hard now because, in about a month here, NASCAR will be going there for the playoffs, NASCAR weekend in Bristol. So they got a lot of work to get that done. But that was just really cool to see a baseball field in there. But you probably see a lot of stuff on social media. The rain came. They got the national anthem in, and it was packed. NASCAR broke a record for the MLB Speedway Classic, 91,000. The highest attended MLB game ever, I believe. But once they threw the first pitch out, the rain came hard, and then everyone went to shelter in the concourse area where the food was. And they just ran out of food, it sounds like. Ran out of the good stuff. We actually waited in line. We actually got these meat and cheese burritos they were making with I had some sweet potato fries, had drinks, but it just really just not a good, ideal situation. They let the gates open around 2 o'clock. The game was starting at 7. I don't know, man. The lines were so long. It was just a mess. I just don't think maybe the MLB or the SMI wasn't prepared for this type of stuff. Of course, they weren't prepared for the weather, man, but this was MLB rules. This wasn't NASCAR rules where you could bring your food in. Usually the lines at NASCAR races aren't that long because you have a lot of fans that take advantage of bringing their own food and drinks in. Now also I think with the weather, I guess it was hard to get the food up there with, being crowded elevators, everything. So I don't know what all happened, but it wasn't a great situation. Well, then they ended up getting the field dry and ready. We played about an inning and a half, and then the rain really came again. And then MLB chose to postpone it. Really disappointing, man, because I thought it was awesome. National anthem. They had the little cool cards and the American flag in the stands. It was really cool vibes, guys. really exciting. Just stinks it couldn't all work out. We actually still stayed for Sunday. Came there. It was a smaller crowd. Lines were good. Watched 6 innings. It was cool to watch the game. We sat kind of right near the batter's eye box area where if you see the grandstands, there's this little black square. We were right on the opposite side of that right there, up like in the Reds grandstands area, watching it there, watched 6 innings, and they were like, you know what? It's Sunday. A lot of us have to go back to work, normal jobs. We ended up walking to our campsite, got in the truck, my dad's truck, and headed home. But it was a really fun experience. Really enjoying spending time with my brother-in-law, my neighbor, my dad. Had a lot of good conversations. So really loved the overall Speedway Classic. I wish the rain held off, but I did hear that NHLA was there. So there could be another big event there in Bristol coming soon. Maybe the Speedway Classic returns. It seemed like a lot of the players embraced it. There was a lot of cool stuff they did. They had a car drive around the racetrack when it was a home run. It was really fun. I enjoyed it. I was entertained. I know Bristol has a lot of plans. They really want to make Bristol more than just a NASCAR track. They want to, I saw Marcus Smith. He wants to put a roof over Bristol. He wants to put bigger and bigger events like WrestleMania, UFC events. So I like that. I think anything that's has to do with a racetrack, a NASCAR track, will hopefully add publicity to, NASCAR. Make people. I know my neighbor was saying, now I gotta come to a race. I gotta come check out a race here at Bristol because you got to experience when it's, you got to go in Bristol, but you didn't get to see Bristol when it really was meant for, was NASCAR racing, packed crowd. So hopefully a lot of the fans that went to the MLB Classic, they were baseball fans, made me choose to go to the Bristol night race coming up. But overall, I really enjoyed my experience. Wish the rain held off, but that's stuff you just can't control. But overall, I thought, besides no food at times, the weather, I thought it was a really cool event that MLB and SMI Speedway put together. Now we talk about the Xfinty Series race. Sam Mayer gets the win. Congratulations to Sam Mayer. He goes back-to-back at Iowa. This is his first win of the season, first win for 4 in the Xfinty Series, and first win for Haas Factory Team as their new team. Tony Stewart left the team last year. Now it's just Team Haas that owns 2 Xfinity Series cars and a Cup Series charter for Cole Custer. Sam Mayer left Junior Motorsports. He was like, you know what? I want to come over to Haas Factory Team. He left Junior Motorsports. He was winning multiple races in Junior Motorsports. He was competing for championships. He left that team. And when I sound like he left that team, Junior Motorsports, because he wanted to set himself up better for the future. For a Cup ride. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to go Cup Series racing. And you look at the Ford camp, there's a lot of teams that have a lot of drivers that are established, but also some drivers that aren't fully established. I mean, Front Row Motorsports, you look at them, they're always known for signing, their drivers are already known for signing 1-year deals and not really having a guaranteed long-term contract. So every year is a year they're going to go prove themselves. You look at just the team, Haas Factory Team, first year Cole Custer back in the Cup Series after, I think, missing the past 2 seasons, not in the Cup Series. He is a guy that, who knows, if he doesn't perform and Sam Mayer performs, there's a Cup ride opportunity. I would say Team Penske in RFK right now, with the way that those 2 teams are performing, those guys are the only ones guaranteed, I think, to be around for another year. I don't know exactly what the contract situation is for Front Row Motorsports. It sounds like a lot of those guys are going to be back for another year. Not exactly sure. We don't know about Rick Kerr Racing. We don't know, they're trying to get a second charter. They're having that whole lawsuit battle with Legacy Motor Club. They want to be a 3-car team. I know Rick Kerr Racing, Cody Ware's going to be back. So who knows that there could be opportunity there for a Ford driver. So I get why Sam Mayer left, because he wanted to set himself up better for Ford. For a Cup Series ride. And Ford is probably the best chance he has right now of getting that opportunity. Because Haas Factory Team is lined up with a Cup Series team. They have a Cup Series team in that organization. Junior Motorsports didn't. Now, of course, you can look at Hendrick Motorsports and Junior Motorsports' alliance, but, right now, Hendrick Motorsports is the cream of the crop. To be a part of Hendrick Motorsports, you got to be one of the best. And none of those guys are, to me, on the hot seat to be replaced. And they all signed long-term deals. So I get why Sam Mayer didn't make that decision, and I think if he continues to win in the Xfinity Series with Haas Factory Team, he is going to be a guy that's going to put a lot of pressure on these Ford drivers to perform. Because I think he's super talented. He's 22 years old. He's going to be in the Cup Series. It's just going to be a matter of when. So, overall, congrats to him. Great drive by him. A lot of stuff happened. Wasn't able to watch any of the Xfinity Series race. Watched some of the highlights. There was 9 cautions for 61 laps. Really, I saw Justin Allgaier. He spun there. I saw racer Ross Chastain, who led the most laps, got out of shape there. Really, what I want to talk about was there was a caution on lap 224. And it was due to the 20 car Brandon Jones spinning. The reason the 20 car Brandon Jones spun was due to there was oil on the racetrack. Well, the oil was put down there by the 99 car. When the 99 car on the restart the lap before got in front of his car, it was like a little stack up, got destroyed. The car smoke came up in flames. The TV broadcast is saying there's probably oil on the racetrack. Well, NASCAR didn't do anything about it in the moment, and that's why the 20 car, I believe, spun out due to oil on the racetrack. That just cannot happen with NASCAR. We can talk about the officiating we've been talking about the officiating by NASCAR a couple weeks now, and a lot of the decisions. You just can't have this as race control. You cannot jeopardize someone else's race because you don't know. You can't, like, if NASCAR needs to see that and say, well, currently the 99 is smoking. We don't know what fluid is coming out, but we got to just assume there's most likely oil or something coming out of that car that could lead to a hazard on the racetrack for another car. And then the 20 spun. I don't know when the 20 finished. If I can look and figure out where he finished. Yeah, the 20 finished 23rd. I don't know exactly where he was running there. He was running top 10 at the time. But due to the fact that NASCAR didn't throw the yellow when they should have, because of oil to be in the racetrack, they ruined the 20 cars race. And as NASCAR, you cannot have that mistake. You got to be able to throw that yellow, and you got to be able to see that. There's no excuses for that, in my personal opinion. But that is my opinion. Overall, though, top 10 was first Sam Mayer, second Jesse Love, third Ross Chastain, fourth Connor Zilch, fifth Harrison Burton, sixth Carson Hocevar, seventh Sheldon Creed, eighth Ryan Sieg, ninth Carson Kvapil, and 10th Christian Eckes. Carson Hocevar, he's subbing in for Josh Williams because Josh Williams parted ways with Calling Racing. I saw that Michael McDowell being that car, the number 11 car for Calling this weekend. Good run for Carson. That's what you expect out of Carson. Cup Series guy getting you a solid top 6 in that car. I believe that is the best finish that car has had all season and probably in the past 2 years. That's not a knock on Josh Williams. That just shows you what a Cup Series guy can do when you're in a solid car like Calling Racing cars are. They are solid race cars. The point standings, the regular season point standings, it's currently tied up. There's 4 races left in the regular season point standings. In the regular season for the Xfinity Series. It's going to be a battle between Connor Zilch and Justin Allgaier for those final 2 spots. It is 0-0. Third is Sam Mayer. He's only 16 points back. So who knows there? 3-car battle, final 4 races. I believe it is Watkins Glen, Daytona, Portland, road course, and then Gateway. So, going to be another fun battle. Another really fun battle there for the Xfinity Series. I also saw that the playoff standings for Xfinity, I don't know, I don't have it on my list here. I forgot to put it up there, but I know Harrison Burton is plus 19 to the cut line. I think behind him is Ryan Sieg, who's minus 19, and then after that is Jeff Burton. I don't know. I don't have it in front of me how many points he's back, but right there is going to be another close battle. There are 4 races left. Who gets that final spot to make the playoffs? I think it's 12 cars that make the playoffs in Xfinity. So that'll be another fun battle. Going to be some good points battle racing here for the Xfinity Series, but overall, I'm not going to say the Xfinity Series race was a good race and a bad race because I never got to see it fully. Well, that was the Xfinity Series. Now my Cup Series race review. William Byron gets the win. He wins his second race of the season, his first win since winning the Daytona 500. With this win, William Byron is now the regular season points leader. He also is now the driver who's done the most laps in the Cup Series this season. He's also now the 7th youngest driver to win 15 Cup Series races. So a little bit of history making for William Byron with this one. He led 41 laps. But really, it's just a fuel-saving strategy race. He ran the final 144 laps on one tank of gas. With the amount of cautions and just single car spins at the end of this race, stage 3, just allowed this all to work out. Time to save fuel. Congrats, just great job, though, by, William Byron to save the fuel. And also the 24 team, Rudy Fugle, their crew chief, their engineers, all that stuff that goes into figuring out how much fuel you need to make it to the end. I think Rudy Fugle said that with 8 laps to go, they knew they were good. The rest of those final 8 laps were just trying to give them any extra space there. Because, you can never know for sure if you are good on fuel because there's no fuel gauge. It's just all off math and stuff. I mean, those engineers, the amount of work that goes into that kind of stuff it's just really impressive. A lot of math. I'm not good at math, so I would always love to learn what they do there. There's probably a lot that goes into it. I'll get to the NBC portion, but I know with 10 laps to go, NBC had William Byron at 4% fuel. He ran 10 more laps and won the race, and he did a burnout. So who knows how accurate the stuff on TV tells you, but we'll talk about that when we get to the NBC portion. But I really do want to credit William Byron. He did a great job. There was a lot of things that haven't worked out this season for William Byron with the fuel strategy. He ran out of gas at Michigan after getting passed from Denny Hamlin. He ran out of gas in Indianapolis, and those were not times where he was leading the race, but those were the opportunities to run really well. So the fuel strategy actually, these fuel mileage races haven't really worked out from 2014, but it did today. So congrats to William Byron. He's a regular season points leader, like I said. So they're going to win this close to the playoffs. Definitely going to be a nice little momentum builder for them. So we'll see. Can they keep that momentum up going into the playoffs? And we'll see when they can finish out this regular season with a regular season championship. But congrats to them and congrats to their whole team. Now, when it comes to this race, guys, overall, stage 1, you had a good battle there with Keselowski and Byron. Really close racing, side by side. Keselowski, a better car. Lap traffic comes involved. That creates a little good battle there. Keselowski passes Byron with 2 to go after Byron gets bobbling. Stage 2 was a battle between Keselowski and Blaney there. Keselowski seemed the better guy, but then also Blaney, was challenging up front there. It looked like Blaney, wasn't as good as 6 there, but doing all he could. There's a lot of other stuff, Briscoe led laps in stage 2. A lot happening there in stage 2. A little more action-packed. Pit stops there, mistakes, drama. With the 8 and the 48. Mad about, how they all in the pit around the same time. Frustrations there. But then also, stage 3 then, Brad won stage 2. Stage 3 was then where we saw, a lot of the strategy played out. We had so many cautions early in stage 3. So many cautions, which then allowed Byron, who was running this strategy. I don't think Byron had plans to do it like this, but the possibility actually worked out. He ran the final 144 laps on one tank of gas. He had a bunch of cautions to save fuel. Keselowski, I thought was the best car throughout the race, but the way his strategy worked out, he would have had newer tires, better fuel, but he couldn't do anything. He couldn't get up there. Briscoe was actually better than Keselowski in track position. Couldn't get up there. He challenged with Byron, but he got stalled out. Blaney came on strong and late because he was the latest to pit. That didn't matter because once Blaney got up to Keselowski in third, I saw Blaney make an attempt to pass Keselowski, and Keselowski shut him off, shut the door on him. That's kind of how they ran. Byron first, second, Briscoe third, Keselowski, and fourth, Blaney. A lot of fans have talked about, their frustrations with this race. I think right now it has like a 46% on the Jeff Gluck poll. Look, Iowa's a 0.8 mile track. Oval track, lower bank, progressive banking. NASCAR last year before last year's return to Iowa. Repay turns the turns 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, the bottom 2 lanes with new pavement, it kind of creates where like you need to be on the new pavement. If you get off that new pavement off the racetrack, it's kind of like no man's land. So it makes the racing somewhat interesting, but when it comes to tire wear did kind of matter, but it didn't matter enough. And also with this car and knowing how dirty air is such a big factor, it's so bad with this car, and how if you are, the slower car, you can just kind of block the faster car, take their air away. If you get your air taken away with this car, you lose grip because the diffuser under the car creates all the underbody downforce. There's no overbody downforce, as drivers have explained. It just gets frustrating with fans. Now look, NASCAR may look at stage 1. Look how close the racing was between Brad Keselowski and William Byron. But then you also look at the fact as Byron, the leader, is trying to pass lap traffic. He's struggling to pass the 30th place car. So there's a lot of ways to look at it. We've talked about horsepower, and NASCAR says they want to increase horsepower, but we still haven't heard anything since about when they're going to do that. People talk about tires. I'm tired of talking about tires because we got to help Goodyear out. I think Goodyear has done an incredible job with these tires. It seems like these tires are more temperature sensitive. In the cooler temperatures, they wear really a lot. In the higher temperatures, they don't wear as much. I feel that we add some horsepower, it'll help the ability of the drivers to make more mistakes, because you'll have the tires maybe spin. Drivers will spin the tires. They'll slide around more as they get worse and worse because you got more power. If you're going into turns faster, the straightaway speeds are up. More possibility, I feel like, to get the tires to wear more and help that tire wear factor. But look, guys, it's really going to come down to what NASCAR wants. NASCAR may look at this race and this is good. This is what we wanted. We want the race to be really close. But I think most fans and drivers I bet you'd probably say, if you asked a driver how hard was it to pass, they'd probably say it was difficult. I know Denny Hamlin had a lot of strong thoughts on this race, and as he always does. But like I said, I've said it many, many times. We can ask what we want. We can say what we want. We can listen to what the drivers want and agree with them, but it's really going to come down to what the higher-ups in NASCAR and what they feel is the best way to go. And if they like what they saw, I don't see much changes coming. But we'll see, guys. I'm frustrated. I'm not trying to ignore this, but if I just continue to ramble about this car, we do this all the time. I think every fan that's really passionate about NASCAR and really watches it all the time knows the issue that this car has when it comes to racing. Because I never thought we'd ever see a fuel mileage short track race. I'm blown away. But congrats to the 24. It all worked out for them. Really, the strategy just really all worked out for him. I mean, I thought, like I said, Blaney was up there. Brad was up there, of course. Briscoe was up there. Just the strategy just never really played out well for them. And I think just because of the cautions, I think if we didn't get so many cautions, Byron wouldn't be able to do what he did. He would have ran out of gas. And I'm also forgetting about him at the 9 car, Chase Elliott. He was up there, but he couldn't make it on fuel. The 48 was also saving fuel and lost a couple spots because of that. This race was really compelling. I'm not really good at strategy. I hate trying to explain strategy because I just sound stupid sometimes, because it's like I put so many notes down and I just get confused. That's the one thing I apologize. I would say that strategy and trying to explain what happened strategy-wise is not something I'm really good at. But yeah, just want to give credit to Byron. Did a great job. I kind of raised over stage 1, stage 2. I mean, I kind of want to talk about some big things that happened in this race. I think the biggest thing that happened besides Byron winning was Carson Hocevar and Zane Smith. Carson Hocevar got loose. I think it was in stage 2. It got into Zane Smith. Zane Smith spun in turn 1, rear-ended his car. Zane was not happy about it. There's a video then someone posted of Zane trying to then repay the favor and trying to wreck the 77. He missed. We saw the crew chief, Ryan Burgundy, go up to Carson Hocevar after the race. I'm trying to think. Really, Stephen Stephanie was the one that was there. He filmed it. And then I guess someone told him to stop filming, but all he got was I guess, here it was. This was from Ryan Burgundy, crew chief for Zane Smith, who went up to Carson. Our car is a effing wreck, because you drive like an effing R word. I'm not going to repeat what he said, but it sent some very strong words about that. Look, it sounds like Carson Hocevar, from his Instagram post, he had the good old drink song, I Don't Give an F, featuring Yeet. It's a very good song. I actually enjoy listening to it because it makes you want to run through a wall. It gets me hyped for athletic sports, And he also, in that same Instagram post, Carson also posted the video of Zane Smith trying to wreck the 77 and missing. There's a lot of good stuff in that Instagram post, but it sounds like I'm not going to put words in Carson's mouth. I'm not Carson Hocevar, but it sounds like this whole incident doesn't really affect Carson Hocevar. We already know what Carson Hocevar, how he drives. He's very aggressive. NBC is trying to push this new nickname, Hurricane Carson. I kind of like it because a hurricane is, destructive. It creates chaos, danger. It's a serious thing, serious thing. And that's kind of what Carson can create. Now, I will say, I'll be curious, Carson hasn't won yet. He's going to need a win to make the playoffs. I'm just going to be curious is how much of this, does this create a distraction for Carson when it comes to him trying to win a race? I don't know. I'm not going to say yes or no because I'm not Carson. But that's the thing. I think what will end up happening if Carson doesn't win a race soon, I think fans will have they'll be able to use that against Carson. That Carson creates a lot of drama, but then that drama is positive drama. And I know a lot of drivers also aren't fans of Carson. But when it comes to NASCAR and media and fans, I think they're starting to like Carson because he has this younger personality to him because he's 22 years old. He relates to the Gen Z. He posts on Twitch. He's talented. He's funny. I think that's all great. The drivers may not like Carson Hocevar, but the fans, I think the media, enjoy what Carson brings to the sport. But I will say, does Hurricane Carson, the NBC is trying to push, do you like that nickname or not? Let me know. Another incident was Kyle Busch, Alex Bowman. They all three, and also Daniel Suarez. They were all 1, 2, 3 in pit boxes. Kyle Busch, Alex Bowman was behind Kyle Busch's pit stall. No. Yes. Alex Bowman was behind Kyle Busch's pit stall, and then Daniel Suarez was ahead of Kyle Busch. And it was just awkward. Alex Bowman had to back out of his pit stall to get out. Busch came in a little bit wider, a different angle. It was just, and Suarez then in the pit. I guess looked like Alex Bowman gave Kyle Busch a hand gesture, and then Kyle Busch replied, "Go tell the 48 to F off. It's a crappy situation. We all effing suck. What do you want me to effing do?" And yeah, I think that's just one of the situations that you're just frustrated that you have to pit when two other guys are pitting near the same pit boxes, and you're all losing time because of that. But that was also during green flag pit stops. But that was some good old drama. That was really it, guys, in racing. I apologize. I didn't really get too in detail with the racing. We'll talk about some of the other stuff in here as we get into our. Whoa! Hang on. I'm getting a little weird here, guys. I'm making weird sounds. I do want to bring up, if I can find a stat, Sunday featured the second most cautions ever for a modern era cup race that had 0 DNFs. Yeah, there was a lot of cautions. I think there was 12 cautions, which tied for the most this season. A lot of cautions, guys. NASCAR's making history with these cautions. And I gotta say, guys, the cautions that we already talked about is what helped William Byron. It probably helped a lot of guys save fuel, man, but so many cautions, so many single car cautions. I guess I also should, if I can continue to talk about this race, Chase Briscoe got into the 45, and the 45 then got into the 20. They both spun out. I thought it was cool that Chase Briscoe chose to apologize before he talked about anything during the race. During his post-race interview, he talked about and apologized to the team. So I thought that was good to see from Chase Briscoe. William Byron wins the race. He leads 141 laps, 5 playoff points. Chase Briscoe finished second, led 81 laps in this race. Third, Brad Keselowski. Brad Keselowski finished third. This is a big race for Brad. Won both stages, led 68 laps, got 2 playoff points. This is definitely a missed opportunity, I think, for Brad. But we got Richmond coming up, and that's a track that's similar to Iowa. I think you gotta feel good for Brad going to Richmond. I don't think anything's gonna come good from Watkins Glen, but this is good for Brad. You know, Brad started slow this season. Brad talked about how they had a new crew chief, new engineer, a whole new team, and that's why they started slow. So now to see that speed from Brad is good. You know, the strategy didn't work out. I'm not even sure if I would call it strategy, just not the amount of cautions I think screwed Brad. Brad needed a long run there to hopefully push the issue and make that 24 run out of gas. I think Brad was better than the 19. Brad just never got the cautions he needed to really maximize and put himself in the best position to win this race. But still a good job by Brad. But Brad needs to win to make the playoffs. Blaney, good run from Blaney. He was fast, really good, but just maybe not as good as the 6. I would say he was right there with the 6, but I don't think he was as good as the 6. They were the ones out of the top 4. They pitted last. They were the ones, the latest to pit. Those newer tires helped, but they kind of stalled out there when they got to Brad. So that's one thing bumming. I know Blaney had like 80 family members there supporting him because I think his mother is from near the Iowa area. So still a good run. Not a win, but a good run for Blaney because Blaney's had a little bit of a rough stretch here. So good run for them. Nice little way for kind of rebound after some bad runs for him. Ryan Preece. Gotta give some love to Ryan Preece. He spent on pit road. No, I don't believe he spent on pit road. Excuse me. Ryan Preece, I believe, won 1 or 2 laps down and was able to rebound from that and come home top 5. Great run for him. This is a big win for him. I mean, it's not a win, but it's a win in the sense that, all right, you go to Iowa, you know, Ryan Preece's background is short track racing. Look, man, we got Richmond coming up. Ryan Preece's background is the Welland Modified Series. They race at short tracks, and one of the tracks they race at is Richmond. And I bet you Ryan Preece, I believe he has a ton of experience at Richmond. To see that RFK has the speed, going to Richmond is going to be interesting how that, you know, if they're able to bring that same speed. Because I think it's going to be a fascinating battle to see who comes out on top at Richmond. And then 6, Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace, man, he also was a guy that won a lap down. I think he won a lap down, or I know he sped on pit road. I have the stat from Steven Toronto. Bubba Wallace lined up 32nd on the final restart before the long green flag run to finish. He drove all the way up to 6 at the checkered flag. I believe Bubba Wallace had 78 lap fresher tires than Byron did, right? So those fresher tires helped. But what a drive. I mean, look, we can talk negativity about this car, and I think the negativity is right and fair. But we still got guys like Bubba Wallace, who's able to come from 32nd on the final run and coming all the way up to 6, man. So, you know, I thought this race was going to be a bad race for Bubba, excuse me, I'm mispronouncing people's names. I thought it was going to be a bad race for him. He turned into another really good run for Bubba. It looked like he was smiling, having fun. So good, 2 races, a win, and a top 10 or top 6 you could call for Bubba Wallace. Good run for him, man. That's awesome. We'll continue here as I continue to look at our list here. 7th, Alex Bowman. Solid day. I don't know if he was saving fuel there. Just didn't have the speed there at the end. He got passed by a couple of cars. But still a good day for him. 8th, Carson Hocevar. We talked about Carson Hocevar. He was in the drama there with Zane Smith, but still come home 8th place. A good day for him, but he's going to need a win. Joey Logano, 9th place. Good run for him. Austin Dillon, top 10 for Austin Dillon. Austin Dillon finished 10th. This is interesting. Will Austin Dillon have the speed going into Richmond? We all know what happened to Richmond. He was going to win that race fair and square. Best car, win a drive, late race caution. He gets beat by Joey Logano on the restart, and then he loses his mind, crashes the 22, crashes the 11 for the win, and then, you know, he loses his playoff points because of that. doesn't make the playoffs. This tells me that the Austin Dillon may have something for Richmond. Going to be fascinating to see how that all plays out. 11th, Ross Chastain. 12th, Austin Cindric. 13th, Josh Berry. 14th, Chase Elliott. Good run for Chase. 15th, John Hunter. Good run. 15th, 16th. 16th is Eric Jones. So top 16 for both Legacy Motor Club cars. 17th, Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell was involved there at the instant when Chase Briscoe got into the 45, and then the 45 got into Chase Briscoe. It's disappointing there. Another disappointing run there for Bell. 18th, AJ Allmendinger. 19th, Tyler Reddick. We already talked about Tyler Reddick. Kyle Busch, 20th. Kyle Busch had a solid car day. I'm trying to see here. Did he finish at all in the top 10 in any of the stages? Yes, he finished 5th in stage 2. Yeah, Kyle Busch, I think Kyle Busch had a speeding, he had a pit road penalty, or I think he went a lap down or something there. I don't know exactly what happened to Kyle Busch. A lot happened to Kyle Busch, but I mean, not a good finish, but he did show some signs there, that speed, like the 3 had. I think Busch is looking at, Watkins Glen. He's solid there. He's good at Richmond, and he's good at Daytona. So we'll see what Kyle Busch can do here. He's going to go win to make the playoffs. 21st, Ty Gibbs. 22nd, Chris Buescher. 23rd, Justin Haley. 24th, Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin spun, I believe, in stage 3. Just, I don't know, just didn't have the car. Didn't have the speed. I picked him to win. I guess, I know a lot of drivers talking about Iowa being, it's a short track, but it drives more like a mile and a half. So maybe Iowa just doesn't fit Denny Hamlin's, style. I don't know. I'm not trying to speak for Denny Hamlin, but definitely a disappointing run for Denny Hamlin. 25th, Daniel Schwartz. 26th, Cole Custer. 27th, Michael McDowell. 28th, Kyle Larson finished 28th. I didn't talk about it, but I don't know what happened there, but Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott were going at it. I mean, on these restarts, you would just see Chase Elliott run into the 5 car multiple times. It was like, I'm not sure what was going on. I know the 5 car, he was just frustrated. He felt like no one was racing him clean. He was kind of full tantrum on the radio. It was a very eventful day for the Kyle Larson. I think he pitted late I believe Kyle Larson pitted there before the final green flag run, but I'm not sure what happened. If he just didn't have the speed, or it was just hard to pass back there, I'm not sure. But a really disappointing day for Kyle Larson finishing 28th, because he was regular season points leader. No, my bad. He was not regular season points leader. Excuse me. But he was in the mix for the regular season points battle. But now I'm not even sure. I have to go look to go find where he's at. Oh, excuse me there. Let me scroll here if I can find where he's at. Kyle Larson is minus 45. With that finish, he went from, I think, being only like 16 points out of the cut line to now 45, if I'm not mistaken there. So, yeah, just a poor effort, I guess. Sorry, I shouldn't say poor effort. I should not say that about the 5 car. Just a surprisingly bad run for the 5 car. And not something you want to have when you're trying to compete for a regular season championship going into the playoffs, too. 29th, Noah Gragson. 30th, Riley Herbst. 31st, Shane Van Gisbergen. 32nd, Cody Ware. 33rd, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 34th, Ty Gillen. 35th, Ty Dillon. 36th, Zane Smith. And 37th, Joey Gase. We already talked about Zane Smith got involved in the accident with Carson Osavar and damaged his car. If we move on here, we move into the playoff standings with 3 races left. Tyler Reddick is plus 122. He's the highest car in the points without a win in 14th. Alex Bowman is plus 63. Chris Buescher is plus 23. I've already said it many times. I think Reddick is he's safe, dude. With 3 races left, he's safe. Bowman, I mean, I can say Bowman is safe, but one bad race, he's right there, on the cuffs of being eliminated or just being outside the top 16. Buescher, that's 1 race in points, 23. Only 1 race, 23 points is only 1 race. You can lose that in, half a race. And then Ryan Preece, good run for Ryan Preece, minus 23. Kyle Busch, minus 73. Ty Gibbs, minus 87. AJ Allmendinger is minus 18. I think Brad Keselowski is like 21st in points, but really from Ryan Preece is the only one that can point himself in. I would say from Kyle Busch and everyone else below, they're all in must win. I think it's going to get really interesting, going to Watkins Glen with a strategy. Richmond, that could also be a strategy race if it's hard to pass. And then Daytona, that's a wild card. Freaking drop the gloves and let's go after it. It's going to be fun. Brad Keselowski showed speed. Can he get the win? Carson Hosfar showed speed. Can he make it happen, man? It's going to be a little fun battle here to see how it all plays out. And look, man, this whole playoff format can change. We get one winner. If we get a winner next weekend at Watkins Glen, let's say we get Chris Buescher, who's in 16, who won this race last year. He'll move past Rennick and Bowman. He'll put Bowman now on the cut line, and then they go into Richmond. Let's say we got a new winner there. Well, now Bowman's out, right? There's a lot of scenarios that you can think about with this playoff format. It's going to get really fun and entertaining for fans to follow along. So looking forward to seeing how it all plays out here, baby. Regular season point standings. Byron is now our new regular season points leader. He has an 18-point lead after dominating the stage 3 of this race, leading the most laps. And Elliott not having as good of a day, finishing 18th, and Larson finishing 28th, and also Denny Hamlin finishing, I forget where he finished, 16th, I believe. They're all, right now, the regular season points battle, Elliott, is 18 points back, and then you have Larson 45 points back, and then you have Denny Hamlin 51 points back. I don't know what to say, really, who has a chance. I just think if Byron just comes home with, 3 top 10s here, he's going to lock this championship up, this regular season championship up, and get 15 playoff points. I thought, last week I was like, oh, this is a nice little three-car battle. Now it looks more like a 2-car battle. But it's going to be another little fun battle to follow along here as we come down to the end of the regular season championship battle. We'll see how it all plays out. I'm just looking around here, guys. I think that is it for today's episode. Kind of went over the place. I will say, guys, I don't know how long this video was, but I'm going to be editing this video for a pretty long time. But guys, I do want to say NBC, guys. NBC returned. I gotta say, I really enjoyed listening to Lee Diffie. I know a lot of fans were hating on Lee Diffie and his voice and his accent. I can relate. Everyone likes to make fun of my voice. No, I cannot relate. I think Lee Diffie, the energy he brings, I love that. I just love how much energy he brings. He's a lot of excitement to him. I think it's awesome. I know a lot of fans were a little upset with the fact that NBC went to commercial during stage 1 when it was like a side-by-side battle for the lead with Keselowski and Byron. I get that. I was frustrated. But I also was watching the race in a truck with the iPad, with a little iPad, so I'm not going to complain too much. There was a lot going on there when I was watching the race there. But I thought that coverage was really good. I will say, when it comes to they were on the overall scoring highlight, they would show what driver, the percentage of fuel they had left. And Byron, with 10 laps to go, was at 4%. Well, he ran 10 more laps at that 4%, and he was good. He won the race. So I would say that those percentages aren't fully accurate. So that's the only thing I will say. I would still say the burn bar that Prime does, where it tells you the miles per gallon that they're running at their throttle time. I think that's a lot better than what the NBC does, but I still think NBC did a great job. I'm looking forward. I always enjoy NBC. I think they were the standard when it was them and Fox. I do think now the upper standards a little bit better, because I think Prime has blew the competition out of the water. But I really enjoyed this race with NBC. Looking forward to seeing how they continue to carry this good momentum for the rest of the season into the playoffs. But overall, guys, that was Iowa. Lots to take from it. We go to Watkins Glen. Lots to look forward to that. Trucks, Xfinity, Cup, man. I think ARCA is in there. I think ARCA race is also happening too, man. Going to be a packed race. Going to be a fun race. The Truck Series is going to be freaking packed with a bunch of different drivers, Cup drivers, Xfinity Series drivers. So looking forward to seeing how that all plays out. Looking forward to talking to you guys then after Watkins Glen. Stay tuned to a bunch of content. I have a lot of content I got to edit from I filmed before going to the Speedway Classic. So stay tuned to all that, guys. Besides that, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next week for Watkins Glen Race Review Weekend of NASCAR. Goodbye, y'all.